Hello, I'm Mason Beam with the Wise News Network, and today I have Dr. Patricia Sparti with me. Dr. Sparti, would you like to say a few words about yourself?
I'm Patricia Sparti. I am the music director of the Symphony of Rutherford County, and I'm also professor of music at Gardner-Webb University, where I'm director of orchestras and the head of the music business program. Thanks so much, Mason, for having me on.
It's good to have you here. So you're a conductor for several different groups. How did you find yourself ending up in that role?
Well, I trained for it, got my master's and doctorate in conducting from Peabody Conservatory, the Johns Hopkins University. And then I found a great job at Gardner-Webb, and that brought me to North Carolina. And while I was here, in 2013, the Symphony of Rutherford County did a conductor search. And I was very lucky and blessed that they picked me. And so I had been with them. My first concert I directed with them was their 25th anniversary concert. And here we are at the 35th anniversary concert.
That would have been 2 years before I joined it myself, because I was there in 2015.
That's right.
In your experience, what makes a good conductor?
You have to ask the musicians that. But usually someone who really cares about the orchestra and really cares about the music and wants to bring the music to life. And in a situation like the Symphony of Rutherford County, they come from all walks of life, all different things, and they're volunteers. And so somebody who really wants to bring out the best in the orchestra and who's able to get the orchestra to peak and just sound fantastic. And we have so many very talented musicians in Rutherford County. Plus, musicians come from all over to play in the orchestra.
So with this year being the 35th anniversary, could you tell us a little about the history of the Rutherford Symphony?
They began as the Little Symphony of Rutherford County, and I believe there was only like 10 or 12 people, and Mary Jo Carpenter, I think, was one of their founders. And gradually they grew into a full orchestra, and then, now we've kind of come into our own. And now our president is Nancy Womack. We even have Russell from the foundation. He ran the foundation for 26 years, Russell Wicker, and did a fantastic job. And of course, he's great at grant writing and operations and everything about that. Well, now in his retirement, we are so lucky that he has become our operations manager and does a lot of our grant writing as well. Plus, we have a board of volunteers from the orchestra that do a fantastic job. And we have a guild of people that are not in the orchestra to help out.
So with the 35th anniversary coming up, what sort of things are you planning to do for that?
Well, interestingly enough, we have one member who has been in the orchestra for 35 years. Started when he was in high school, and his name is Matt Guffey. And Matt is going to be a clarinet soloist. He's a virtuosic clarinet player, and he is doing the Weber concertino for clarinet with the orchestra. And then also, Matt is also our assistant conductor, and he is going to direct Our Town by Aaron Copland, and there will be a slide presentation shown of the entire symphony of Rutherford County, plus a lot of highlights of Rutherford County. I was going to say, we also have, we commissioned a work from a living composer, and his name is Caleb Etchison. He's from Gastonia, North Carolina. He's about to graduate from Gardner-Webb University with a Bachelor of Music in Composition degree. And we commissioned a work, and he wrote us a work. It's brilliant, and it's called Gateway to the Mountains, and it brings out a lot of really important things about Rutherford County. And it has a lot of styles in it. So there's some bluegrass, there's some really high orchestra stuff. There's even some jazz in it, and it brings out a lot of prominent players in the orchestra as we play it. It's a lot of fun, and I think the audience is going to really love it. And Caleb's really a genius. He won last year he had done a piece with the Gardner Webb Orchestra that he wrote for us. And that piece won first place in the National Alpha Chi competition. In the entire United States, he won first place. So great composer. We're also blessed with Bill Flounders, who wrote a piece for the symphony many years ago, probably 15 or more. And he's going to be with us as well. He's a great composer, and his is called Blue Ridge Tapestry. And there's a big surprise in the Blue Ridge Tapestry. And I don't want to give it away, but it's an instrument that doesn't normally play with an orchestra, but that is huge for Rutherford County. And let's just leave it at that. There's a big surprise coming with that one. And the concert has a little bit for everyone. You know, the first half it begins with a piece, Into the Storm, that talks about a hurricane, and then the eye of the hurricane and the back end of the hurricane. We go right from there to Matt's piece, the Weber Concertino for Clarinet, which is a virtuosic work. And Matt is absolutely knocking it out of the park. Then we do the finale from Sibelius Symphony No. 2. It's just a glorious piece of victory. Then on the program comes the Allegretto from Beethoven 7, just the most beautiful piece, fitting for a 35th anniversary. Then Copland's Our Town, at which point the video goes. We have a little intermission. The second half is a little bit lighter. It opens with Blue Ridge Tapestry and our big surprise. And then we're going to do Danzas Cubanas by Robert Sheldon, which will have everybody dancing Cuban dances with the mambo and all of that in the aisles. And you are welcome to dance at that. Then we're going to do Duke Ellington medley, and everyone will know all the songs, and they're just glorious. Then Phantom of the Opera. And Phantom of the Opera, as you know, is closing after 35 glorious seasons on Broadway, the longest running musical ever on Broadway. And we're playing a wonderful medley of that. We end the program with Caleb Etchison's Gateway to the Mountains, which is a brilliant work. And we've just enjoyed playing so much, and we know the audience will love it.
So we have a few more historic composers on there. Would you care to tell us a little about Sibelius and Beethoven and maybe even Copland?
Yeah, well, Sibelius is a Finnish composer, of course, and he's known for a lot of pieces about his homeland. And the Sibelius Symphony, his Symphony 2, is one of his greatest works. People know him for Finlandia, you know, which we are playing on our Pops concert on May 12th. But the Symphony No. 2 is more fitting for a 35th anniversary. It's just glorious music. Beethoven, of course, Viennese composer, one of the greatest of all time.
Definitely.
And the Allegretto from his 7th Symphony is perhaps his most loved and most famous movement of all of his music. And he's widely regarded as probably the greatest composer to ever live.
I know the Allegretto has some bass licks in it that are a little bit complicated. It has some
licks for everybody. They better be, eating their Wheaties and playing their fugues. You bet. And of course, Aaron Copland is on there. So we have Our Town, which is going to be all about Rutherford County.
Most people recognize Aaron Copland from Rodeo, which I've always had a problem with the name of, but that's a personal preference.
Well, it was about a rodeo. Imagine a ballet about a rodeo. That's what Copland actually says. Imagine a ballet about a rodeo. That's Copland.
So, as far as it goes, you're playing with the conducting for the Rutherford Symphony. What makes a symphony a symphony?
Well, there's two different things. There's the genre of the symphony, which is the 4-movement work. You know, the first one's usually in a sonata form. Second one might be a theme and variations, or it might be an ABA, ternary, or something like that. The third was traditionally a minuet, but with Beethoven, it became a scherzo, which is a joke. It's called a joke. And the last movement is fast and lively and usually a rondo. But what makes a symphony orchestra, like the Symphony of Rutherford County, kind of orchestra and symphony are synonymous names. Even if it's called the Dayton Philharmonic, it's a body of people that play this great repertoire from the history of music, this whole canon of stuff that was written for symphony orchestras and scored for this great instrumentation. You know, big string section, full woodwind section, full brass section, full percussion section. And some of our works are, you know, a little bit scored a little bit less and some a little bit more. But it's all for this great group called the Symphony. And our symphony here in Rutherford County, we are really a family. I mean, we love each other. I've been their conductor for 10 years. They're like family for me. And I just recently found out at our latest children's concert that I am the longest serving conductor in the history of the symphony. So they've had 3 or 4 conductors, and I've been there the longest.
To backtrack a little, some folks at home may not understand what a minuet, sonata, or rondo is. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Minuet is a dance. Dee-da-dee-dum-dum. Yum. It's a little dance they used to do in the court. Scherzo is it's more of a musical joke. It's faster. It's still in one. It's a little different. Sonata form is the greatest form ever in the history of music. You might have a little introduction, then you have an exposition which exposes the 2 main themes. There's a theme A in one key, a theme B in a contrasting key. Then you have a development in which these themes are developed and transformed, and you go through a lot of keys. Eventually you come upon the recap, which is just like the beginning, the same, but the B theme is now in the tonic key, so both themes. And then you might have a little coda, which is a tip in that kind of sums it up. And it allows the listener to really take it in and become one with it and really feel like they're a part of it. And we hope in this concert, with all the music we're doing, that the audience is going to have great involvement. And one thing I would say about the orchestra, our mission, in the fall, we do 2 children's concerts, and we serve about 2,000 students. All the 3rd, 4th, 5th graders in Rutherford County, and usually Union County and some surrounding counties as well. And then we do a huge Christmas and holiday concert, which first half is all big holiday Christmas, even Hanukkah stuff. And then the second half is all Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Rock It Out of the House Baby, rock band, and big orchestra. And those are always like almost sold out. People like dream of those concerts. And then in the spring, we have now the big 35th, which I really encourage you to come to. It's a great program. None of the pieces are too long. They're fairly short. So I know it looks like a lot of pieces, but they're fairly short, but they're exciting. And the orchestra's playing great. They are at their peak right now. They are peaking. It's going to be a fantastic concert. And then just a few days after that, on May 12th, we're playing a Pops concert downtown in the amphitheater in Forest City. And so the 35th concert, by the way, is at Isothermal Community College at the Foundation Performing Arts Center. And you can get tickets by going to their website or calling the foundation. And we'd love to see everybody there. And Gastonia, come out and support Caleb. You're his hometown.
The foundation is a wonderful hall. In modern society, I feel like a lot of people are generally unaware that classical musicians are a normal commodity. What would you have to say about finding classical musicians in the area? And
well, you know, it's interesting. Our musicians in the Symphony of Rutherford County come from all over. Some of them come from South Carolina. Some of them come from Gardner-Webb. Some of them come from right there in Rutherford. You know, they live in Forest City. They live in Spindale. Some come from, you know, as far as Kaiser and some other places, or even Spartanburg. We're just very blessed that we have some fantastic musicians who have been with us for, you know, decades and who are very devoted. You know, strings is always the hardest thing because sadly the Rutherford County school system doesn't have a string program. But we do string education with us, and we have a guy named Eben Mann that runs a school where strings can start and they can play in a beginning orchestra. And we even have beginning orchestras for adult beginners that hopefully in 3 or 4 years, they then graduate into the main symphony. So we do have a training program for strings, but all musicians are welcome to join our orchestra. We're very inclusive of everyone, and we'd love to have you play with us.
Oh, it would be good if I could join again, but time conflicts.
And we need you at Gardner-Webb.
Oh, I'll be there. Talking about Gardner-Webb, they have something upcoming. Would you like to talk about that?
That's right. On Thursday night, we just played our orchestra program on Monday night, and Mason was part of that. He's a fantastic bass player. And Thursday night, we are doing a Masterworks concert with the concert choir and the orchestra, and we are premiering Jaron Watkins. He's also going to graduate May 4th. He's a Bachelor of Music and Composition. The Beginning of the End is his piece. It's a big fantasy kind of off of a video game. And real exciting piece. I mean, it kind of sounds like Penderecki, you know. And so we're so excited to be doing this Thursday night. And then the concert choir will also be doing works of Mozart. It's a great program. It's at 8 o'clock. It's free. Dover Theater at Gardner-Webb University. We'd love to see you there.
The price of entry of that.
Okay, so if you are 18 and under, tickets are free. If you are, I guess, 19 and above, they're $15 for tickets. But we also will have a fantastic concert for you. Oh my goodness, the Performing Arts Center there is one of the greatest acoustic facilities in the state. It is a state-of-the-art concert hall, 1,300 seats, fantastic acoustics. We'll also have a photo booth so you and your family can take photos, and we'll have like little play instruments for you to take photos with, and you can dress up in different things. It's going to be a fantastic concert, and it's very well worth the $15 price of admissions.
I would say so.
And you're supporting local live music made by people who make music because they love it. They absolutely love making music. You know, when we were off for 18 months for the pandemic, that first rehearsal we came back, it was incredible. I mean, you could feel the energy in the room of how grateful people were to make music again. And here we are having these now wonderful live concerts again with a full hall. And we're just so grateful that, you know, live music is where it's at. It's where the audience and the synergy between the audiences and the performers just make it, you know, kind of a chemistry that you can't get even in rehearsal.
I know from experience that every time we put on a concert, the energy is so much higher than even the dress rehearsal before it.
You bet. I mean, that audience, you play a big role in bringing us at our best.
They sure do. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
I'm just very grateful for the television station here, Wise News Network, for having me on today. Thank you guys so much. You have a fantastic studio, and I'm grateful to be here. And I just wanted to say Nancy Womack, our board, Bill Flanders, Caleb Etchison, our composers, Matt Guffey, our clarinet soloist, and every musician in the Symphony of Rutherford County. I'm so proud of everyone. We hope everyone will come out. It's going to be a fantastic concert. Come join us. It's just going to be a really great time. Thank you so much. Mason, thank you.
You're welcome. Where could they go online to try and find out more about the concert?
Well, celebrating 35 Springs concert, they can get tickets at the Foundation box office. The number is 828-286-9990. Foundation Shows, all one word, .org. You can get your tickets there. We also have an RC Symphony site on Instagram and the Symphony of Rutherford County site on Facebook.
That you do.
Thank you guys so very much. Thank you, Mason.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on with us at the Wise News Network, Dr. Sparti.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for advertising our 35th anniversary concert. If you love orchestral music, if you love all styles of music from Broadway to jazz to symphonic, please come out and join us. It's going to be a great time.
And if you like seeing content like this, please leave a comment down below on the video. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter at the Wise News Network. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a great day.